Hello, y'all, and welcome to another production of The Single 8 Show. Your name is...
My name is Jonathan Wesley. Your name is...
The Single 8.
And today on The Single 8 Show, we are going to talk about some faith movements that are affirming.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we exist in this horrible plague of Christian nationalism, and it's really just horrible. Yeah. Christian nationalism has raped our identity of faith. It's set a very harmful narrative that has traumatized so many people, and we really do want to speak for a few moments over some faith movements that are really trying hard to be reconciling, affirming places.
Yes.
Tonight, Transcendent Media hosted a conversation on what a affirming church looks like. So I'm going to let Single 8 speak on this for a moment.
We had our specialist from the conference come to talk about all the ongoing issues that had been happening in the United States, across the world, all together, to help lead the right conversation for us to ultimately help.
Yes, it was our blessings to host Reverend Dr. Denise Barnes from the California Pacific Annual Conference of the United Methodist Church at our worship center this evening. It really laid out a twofold thing. One, please realize the needs of our LGBTQIA plus siblings, and also be active. Yeah. Go out and share and do.
The one best thing you can do right now that outweighs everything is be active. Protest. Say what needs to be said in the way that it needs to be said in the conversation that you're having it in.
Yes. There has never been a time frame since Dietrich Bonhoeffer in World War II that Christians need to step up and to show their difference in the way that they are seen throughout popular culture.
Yeah.
Right now, the loud, vocal, aggressive voices have stolen the identity of Christianity. I'm tired. I'm just going to keep saying it. Christian nationalism is killing Christianity. It's killing it because it is harming so many dear siblings out there who are told that they are not loved by God, who are, and they are harming these souls, and it is horrible.
But right now, you need to remember, if you are a Christian left side, leftist, Democrat,
left-leaning progressive Christian,
that you can use your voice to block out what is ultimately not true.
Yes. And we need to start speaking out more and more. We've shared videos here on the Transcendent Media Instagram and Facebook pages of my active nature at different school board meetings.
Yes.
And that active nature in different school board meetings has stepped up to kind of challenge these elected officials to realize that there is a different narrative that exists out in the world, and that narrative really is challenging them to care for all of their students. There are LGBTQIA plus students who are suffering under some of these forced mandates that school boards are making without their voices, with no way to speak out or to advocate for themselves. And these dear siblings need someone who will be their voice for them.
Yes. Because right now, everyone within my community, our voices are being shut down and then thrown in the trash.
Yes.
So everyone who can need to stand up. It's not a want, it's a need.
It is a need now. I want to ask you a question. I don't want you to say names, and I want you to say averages and not numbers.
Yeah.
How many siblings do you have at your school that are afraid of due to their identity? Or afraid?
All of them. All collectively, all of my friends.
And all of your friends would identify as LGBTQIA?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. And so every queer person is existing in some level of fear right now because of punishing language that comes from right-leaning religious groups and right-leaning political parties.
Yes.
And it's scary. It's absolutely scary. I have been to school board meetings, and I see this. I literally do. I see a lack of care for the people that they should be caring for, and a group of people that are trying to make themselves known politically so that they can move on to the next step. That's literally all I see at school board meetings anymore.
Well, see that? All they are trying to do is move on.
Yeah.
Therefore, in a society in which they have been taught, making people scared will move you up.
Yeah.
We need to teach them that the only way to move up is treating people with respect and any level of careness.
Yes.
Any level. Because in the thing of things, it's not really that many people who lean that far in the other direction. That are not so much in the black that we can't bring them back out into the rainbow.
So let's talk about that. There's not really that many people. And one of the facts that Dr. Barnes shared this evening, it really stood out to me. 1% of society identifies as transgender.
Yes.
So...
And I believe I pointed that out a couple times.
Yes, you have. And I believe that you've also pointed this out, but I really want to lean into it some more.
Yeah.
Because I thought about it a lot tonight. That 1% of the greater population identifies as transgender. Why is transgender the evil monster right now? Because it's 1%. If they can erase the smallest number, then they can build to the next. And then they can build to the next. And they're chipping away at the next one while they're building towards it. So transgender is this vulnerable mass right now because it literally is such a low percentage. And if they can vilify this mass and erase it, then it's one step closer to erasing the entire alphabet.
Yes.
And it really sucks.
Yeah.
And that's why we can't let any of our siblings suffer, because it's not one group. Everyone is under attack.
And we have already seen this by countless executive orders coming through.
Yes.
Countless. Most of them done on the first day. I need to make that clear. That because I know the people who are listening come, or for the people who don't fully know and not fully clocked it, most of them came on the first day. That's also a proven sign, at least for me, and at least in how my brain works. Shock. So, what does shock mean? Shock means frozen. They're trying to freeze every small population in our country to scare them, for them to have more lines of attack.
Yes.
So I'm going to bring this back in something that I said a couple of podcasts ago. Give yourself a moment. Don't react on it manically. Give it a couple days. And then let the feeling come through. And then you can deal with it with what you have the might to deal with it with. And your first reaction is not being scared, because you already know lords are working towards the plate to make sure that those do not come through.
I am really, really proud of the progressive judges that have put in blockades on some of these agendas.
Yes.
That have gone out. And if it will not be the left-leaning political leaders, I'm glad that these judges are stepping up and doing what they can do.
Yes. Because being a judge, I feel like, has just as much power as being the one in the main chair.
Well, judges hold people to political expectations.
Yes.
And thank God that they're stepping up and even holding the leader of the country to legal expectations.
Yes. So, back to what I was going to say for a second.
I'm sorry.
Because they have, in my mind, just as much power, they can provide the blockade. That's why we have the judicial system. The judicial system right now is doing its job as best as it possibly can. And everyone who's elected in there is doing as best as they possibly can to block it off. Even if the Supreme Court is not doing as good as a job as it should, the lower systems are. The lower systems / middle systems of the judicial systems are doing their job. And they're doing it well.
They're stepping up in some major ways. There's a lot of governors right now, too, and other legal people that are not letting this bully pulpit overrun everything that's going on right now, and I'm glad. I wish that the governor of our state was a little bit louder. Over time that he has been the progressive voice of the nation. I really need him to get louder, especially as I see sanctuary cities start to pop up everywhere for our transgender siblings. Places that will protect transgender citizens' right, transgender citizens' health care. And I need our city to step up and be that. As we live in a blue state, but man, we exist in a red pocket, man.
Yeah. And right now, I'm probably gonna say this a couple times over the podcast. It's remember to stop and breathe. Stop and breathe. They have one plan, y'all, and they already are starting to fail. Starting. That doesn't mean they won't get more, but they're starting. We can see the holes. And it's our job to help other people see the holes in their system to make sure that that can't happen again. Yes, I did say again. And yes, I'm according to somewhere else in the content in which I'm saying. I'm not going to say it consistently in these moments, but I hope you clock what I'm saying. I hope you clock it. And we're not going to get, if we work just as hard, just as fast, we shouldn't get at the same level that they did so many times ago. If we stop the groups from gaining power in our smaller systems, because that's how they work. Small and build up. Small and build up. The second you break the baby egg, you can break the goose egg. That's how they work. So if we can stop them from breaking the baby egg, it's going to make it harder for them to break the goose egg.
Yes. I have been reading a lot of memes lately and that this fight has gone on before. And one of the things that I have seen, and this really, it really cringes my spirits. It says I didn't fight for civil rights in my 20s so that I would have to fight for it again in my 50s, in my 70s. And that's what's happened. There's been a lot of progress in this country, and literally in months, in 2 months, not even, January, I don't remember, it was the middle of January, literally 1 month as president, 1 full month. Look at all the harm that's happened. And it's just so disheartening that we need to step up and do things. But I want to get back to what you said about breathing, because that was a really great point that Dr. Barnes made tonight about breathing. We have a lot of siblings that need us to listen to them, and we're not listening to them. We need to stop and breathe so that other people can speak. Because I said this a minute ago about the school board. The school board meetings that I've been going to at my current worship center, the ones I went to for you, I don't see anyone listening to those in need, and it's painful. It freaking hurts. It's painful.
And in the moment of you breathing, listen. Right? If that person feels okay and you ask, if you can go up and talk for them. Because I will tell you, literally the only way I feel comfortable speaking, considering who I am in society, considering what I am to society. Your job is to make sure if they can't physically, if they feel unsafe physically going, to make sure that you ask if you can write down their stories and share them to the school boards, to the council meeting, to the net whatever, to make sure that their needs are being heard, because you have the power to share it for them. You have the power that they don't right now. That they don't right now. Yeah. And you do. And you need to make sure that you're using it at the right time, with the right amount of emotions that it takes. Because right now, that's our first step. Because they're not listening to statistics. Remember that they're human too. Appear to their emotions first. And then you can layer on what has already been happening.
Yes. I think that we've said enough tonight. That's a good full episode. It's just a lot going on, kids, and we can't play anymore.
And we're going to keep on doing the best that we can to make sure that you guys have the ability to do the best that you can in the way that we can. We will make sure that we keep on having half-hour power hours to make you have dopamine go through your body when you need the dopamine.
To have fun and laugh, dude.
Yes.
And we'll continue the Single Lake Show to advocate every way possible.
And keep on telling your stories the way that you can. Everything helps.
And that was the Single Lake Show for this week.